students. Welcome to the lecture on Meaning of Production and Operations Management. And after this lecture, we will be able to learn the following objectives. Discuss the historical development of production and operations management, explain Industrial Revolution, define production function and system, understand the difference between production and operation, describe manufacturing systems and layouts, discuss the importance of production planning and control, define the objectives of operations management, understand the operations management as a multidisciplinary subject. Let us start with the meaning of production and operations management. Production and operations management is about the transformation of production and operational inputs into outputs that, when distributed, meet the needs of customers. There are several different methods of handling the conversion or production process: job, batch, flow, and group. Product. Marketers in a business must ensure that a business sells products that meet customer needs and wants. The role of production and operations is to ensure that the business actually makes the required products in accordance with the plan. The role of product in POM therefore concerns areas such as performance, aesthetics, quality, reliability. Let us now discuss the historical development of production and operations management. Mass production worked well as long as high volumes of mass-produced goods could be produced and sold in predictable and slowly changing markets. An unforeseen challenge to Western manufacturers emerged from Japan. New Japanese production techniques such as Total Quality Management, TQM, Just-in-Time, JIT, and employee involvement were emulated elsewhere in the developed world with mixed results. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution began in the 1770s in England and spread to the rest of Europe and to the United States during the 19th century. Prior to that time, goods were produced in small shops by craftsmen and their apprentices. Under that system, it was common for one person to be responsible for making a product, such as a horse-drawn wagon or a piece of furniture from start to finish. Only simple tools were available. The machines in use today had not been invented. Production function and system. Production function is that part of an organization which is concerned with the transformation of a range of inputs into the required outputs, products, having the requisite quality level. Production is defined as the step-by-step conversion of the form of material into another form through a chemical or mechanical process to create or enhance the utility of the product to the user. Thus, production is a value addition process. At each stage of processing, there will be value addition. These features of the production function are: it involves transformation of raw materials into the finished product. The place where production takes place is known as a factory. Classification of product system. Job shop production. Job shop production is characterized by manufacturing of one or a few quantities of products designed and produced as per the specification of customers within a prefixed time and cost. Characteristics. The job shop production system is followed when there is 1. A high variety of products and a low volume. 2. The use of general-purpose machines and facilities. Advantages. The advantages of job shop production are: 1. Because of general-purpose machines and facilities, a variety of products can be produced. 2. Operators will become more skilled and competent as each job gives them learning opportunities. Limitations. following are the limitations of job shop production. 1. Higher cost due to frequent setup changes. 2. Higher level of inventory at all levels and hence a higher inventory cost. Batch production. Batch production is defined by American Production and Inventory Control Society, APICS, as a form of manufacturing in which the job passes through the functional departments in lots of batches, and each lot may have a different routing. Characteristics. Batch production system is used under the following circumstances. 1. When there is shorter production runs. 2. When plant and machinery are flexible. Advantages. Following are the advantages of batch production. 1. Better utilization of plant and machinery. 2. Promotes functional specialization. Limitations. Following are the limitations of batch production. 1. Material handling is complex because of irregular and longer flows. 2. Production planning and control is complex. Difference between production and operation. The term production is strictly used in the sense of manufacturing tangible products. In this sense, the term production is used in a narrow sense. In recent times, production has taken to involve services as well. In this sense, the production is viewed in a broad sense. Now we will discuss the nature and scope of operations management. Operations management is often used along with production management. It is therefore useful to understand the nature of operations management. Operations management is understood as the process whereby resources or inputs are converted into more useful products.
And what am I going to learn during this course? Well, anytime you start a new course, you have some inkling of what the course might be about. For example, when I went into my first class in marketing management, marketing is something that we've all been exposed to in the sense that we have all been marketed to at different times in our lives. And here is the impression of marketing that I had. That's when you put your hands in the other person's pocket and make sure they're empty by the time you're done. How about accounting? Well, that's when they give you enough training that you can pick up a telephone book and simply add up all the numbers at one end. How about finance? Well, that's easy. That's when you buy low and sell high. Now, of course, you don't do all of this with your own money, but first you make a fantastic presentation, find yourself a whole bunch of investors, and take their money and go to Wall Street. So now what is operations about? Well, clearly operations management must be about production management, managing a factory setting, thinking about something in the manufacturing sector. And many of you are probably wondering, why am I even studying operations management? I don't plan a career in the manufacturing sector. I'm looking for a career in the service sector. And you're right. Most of you will probably end up in the service sector simply because the rate at which the service sector has been exploding over the last so many years and is continuing to grow, most of the economy is in the service sector. But wait, is a manufacturing factory the only place where you come across production? Consider the last time I went to a bank. So I walked up to the teller and he said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to cash a check." So he said, "Sign here." I signed here, showed him my ID, and he said, "Do you want 20s or 50s?" And I took my money. And then I said, "I'd like to get a mortgage." He said, "For that, you would have to go over to that lady in the desk out there." So I went over to that lady and I got myself a mortgage. And after that, I asked the lady, "Well, now I have a checking account at your place and a mortgage. What other kinds of services do you provide?" And she said, "Oh, we provide a whole bunch of financial products." Financial products? But I don't see, where's your factory? Go and talk to our manager sitting in the corner office over there, and she will give you a better idea of all the financial products. I went over to the corner office and I asked this manager, "Where's your factory?" And she said, "We don't have a factory. We don't need a factory." Now think about Where else you see the term production? How about a film production? How about another kind of production? Well, let's say you're producing a magic show. Or here's another kind of production you might be familiar with. Think back to your high school play. Now, let's think about a more common kind of production environment that you're likely to encounter. And here you are sitting at your desk, and your boss loads you up with a pile of work, but you're sharp. So you slice through that work, and it's all finished. But your boss gives you more work, and even more work, and even more work. Now you can see that basically what you're doing is you're taking inputs and you're producing outputs. And to do this production, you're using transformation processes. You don't have a factory of any sort, but you have transformation processes. Now, this transformation processes could involve something as simple as doodling on a piece of paper or clickety-clack on a computer keyboard. But whatever you're doing, you're transforming inputs into outputs, and that is the kind of production you're likely to be doing. Now, when we talk about operations and transformations, we said we take inputs and we transform them to produce outputs, and this happens in any organization. It doesn't have to be a for-profit organization. It could be a non-profit organization. It could be a governmental organization. Any organization exists to produce outputs, and you do that by taking inputs and transforming them. Now, when you think about a good operation, a well-managed operation, basically you're saying that you can produce more outputs using the same inputs. You can produce the same outputs using fewer inputs. It's like doing more with less. A term that we use is productivity, which is outputs divided by inputs. And productivity measures how many outputs can I produce for every unit of input.
Scope of production and operations management. The scope of production and operations management is indeed vast. Origination with the selection of location production management covers such activities as acquisition of land, constructing a building, procuring and installing machinery, purchasing and storing raw material, and converting them into saleable products. Importance of production planning and control. The system of production planning and control serves as the nervous system of a plant. It is a coordinating agency which coordinates the activities of engineering, purchasing, production, selling, and stock control departments. An efficient system of production planning helps control in providing better and more economic goods to customers at a lower investment. It is essential in all plants, irrespective of their nature and size. Did you know the first person who attempted production improvement was Adam Smith in 1776? During this stage, the factory system was in its infancy. Let us now get to know the objectives of operations management. Operations management is the core of the manufacturing company. It is a combination of various disciplines. Operations management is often called production management. 1. Design of goods and services. It is associated with quality and human resources. 2. Quality. The quality or product quality must be maintained during the construction process of products, goods or services. 3. The design process and capacity designing processes and capacities related to the quality, human resources, inventory, scheduling, and maintenance. 4. Site selection, the choice of a location associated with the supply chain management. Manufacturing systems and layouts are described as manufacturing systems. Manufacturing is the organized activity devoted to the transformation of raw materials into marketable goods. The manufacturing system usually employs a series of value-adding processes to convert raw materials into more useful forms and eventually into finished products. In an industrialized country, the manufacturing industries are the backbone of the national economy because it is mainly through their activities that the real wealth is created. Recently, there has been what may be termed as a revolution in the fundamental ways of thinking about manufacturing management. Layouts. In manufacturing, a facility layout consists of configuring the plant site with lines, buildings, major facilities, work areas, aisles, and other pertinent features such as department boundaries. While a facility layout for services may be similar to that for manufacturing, it also may be somewhat different, as is the case with offices, retailers, and warehouses. Process layout. Process layouts are found primarily in job shops or firms that produce customized, low-volume products that may require different processing requirements and sequences of operations. Process layouts are facility configurations in which operations of a similar nature or function are grouped together. As such, they are occasionally referred to as functional layouts. Product layout. Product layouts are found in flow shops, repetitive assembly and process, or continuous flow industries. Flow shops produce high volume, highly standardized products that require highly standardized, repetitive processes. Fixed position layout. A fixed position layout is appropriate for a product that is too large or too heavy to move. For example, battleships are not produced on an assembly line. For services, other reasons may dictate the fixed position. Example, a hospital operating room where doctors, nurses, and medical equipment are brought to the patient. Other fixed position layout examples include construction. Example, buildings, dams, and electrical or nuclear power plants, shipbuilding, aircraft, aerospace, farming, drilling for oil, home repair, and automated car washes. In order to make this work, required resources must be portable so that they can be taken to the job for on-the-spot performance. Cellular layout. Cellular layout manufacturing is a type of layout where machines are grouped according to the process requirements for a set of similar items that require similar processing. These groups are called cells. Therefore, a cellular layout is an equipment layout configured to support cellular manufacturing. A system is a group of interrelated items which no item studied in isolation will act the same way as it would in the system. A system is divided into a series of parts or subsystems, and any system is part of a larger system. Systematic view of operations. The system's boundary defines what is inside the system and what is outside. A system's environment is everything outside the system boundary that may have an impact on the behavior of the system. A system's inputs are the physical objects of information that enter it from the environment, and its outputs are the same which leave it for the environment. Significance of operations management. Operations management refers to the complex set of management activities involved in planning, organizing, leading, and controlling an organization's operations. At one time, operations management was considered the backwater of management activities, a dirty, drab necessity. To improve productivity. A measure of efficiency, productivity, the ratio of output to input, is a measure of a manager's or employee's efficiency in using the organization's scarce resources to produce goods and services. Total quality approach to operations improvement. The quality movement with such approaches as small-scale continuous improvement processes and the large-scale radical redesign of processes is directly affecting productivity and measures of efficiency. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, these are four generally recognized factors of production. Of course, in a literal sense, anything contributing to the productive process is a factor of production. However, economists seek to classify all inputs into a few broad categories. So, standard usage refers to the categories themselves as factors. Before the 20th century, only three factors making up the classical triad were recognized: land, labor, and capital. Entrepreneurship is a fairly recent addition. The factor concept is used to construct models illustrating general features of the economic process without getting caught up in essential details. Land. This category sometimes extends over all natural resources. Labor. The classical labor theory value was an innovative theory in response to the physiocratic doctrine that only land could yield surplus. Capital. This most controversial of factors is variously defined as produced equipment. As finance used to acquire produced equipment, as all finance used to begin and carry on production, including the wage fund, and as the assessed value of the whole productive enterprise, including intangibles such as goodwill. Objectives of production and operations management. The last century, particularly the latter half of it, has seen an upsurge in industrial activity. Now, industries are producing a variety of products. Consumerism has been on a steep rise. Element of production and operations management. Operation managers are concerned with planning, organizing, and controlling the activities which affect human behavior through models. Planning. Activities that establish a course of action and guide future decision-making is planning. Organizing. Activities that establish a structure of tasks and authority. Controlling. Activities that assure the actual performance in accordance with planned performance. Behavior. Operation managers are concerned with how their efforts to plan, organize, and control affect human behavior. Models. As operation managers plan, organize, and control the conversion process, they encounter many problems and must make many decisions. The analysis, design, and control of operational processes can be addressed from several research disciplines: quantitative modeling and analysis, computer science and ICT, social sciences, accounting and finance. Quantitative analysis of operational processes with respect to quality, timing, and costs can only be performed if tolerances, operation times, routing, and failure rates are known. In most cases, these variables can only be known in stochastic terms. This type of analysis requires both statistical analysis of real-life data or data from laboratory experiments, but also the application of mathematical modeling technique as well. Operations management is supported largely by techniques such as analysis of stochastic processes, optimization methods, and simulation. Vice versa, operations research and other branches of applied mathematics have much benefited from their application to the engineering of operational processes. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Production and Operations Management, POM, is about the transformation of production and operational inputs into outputs that, when distributed, meet the needs of customers. Job shop production is characterized by manufacturing of one or a few quantities of products designed and produced per the specification of customers within a prefixed time and cost. Production function is a basic function of an industrial organization around which all other functions of the organization, such as purchasing, financing, marketing, storing, personnel, research, and development, revolve. The availability of machine power greatly facilitated the gathering of workers in factories that housed the machines. A large number of workers congregated in the factories, creating the need for organizing them in a logical way to produce goods. Production planning and control through proper scheduling and expediting of work helps in providing better services to customers in terms of better quality of goods at reasonable prices as per promised delivery dates.